An unassuming property amidst a hospital's campus holds some fascinating remnants.
Wow, this one's so cool. I think I've counted 10 theatres in total.
In today's Urbandoned video, we head inside Royal Oldham Hospital's mothballed maternity block that has lain abandoned since 2012, with medical equipment left behind to deteriorate. Join us as we wander within the outdated premises to discover what remains.
Oh my god, you'll never guess what.
What is it?
95% of our viewers aren't subscribed.
95%?
That's alright man, calm down. There's still time to fix this. Hit subscribe with notifications on to never miss a future video.
It is early 2023. We had become interested by this former hospital building after noticing signs of structural overgrowth and fencing on Google Maps. Although we weren't entirely sure at the time of what type of procedures had occurred within, we still felt it necessary to give it a proper look. With a lack of protection symbolising to us that we were the first to try, we soon found a discreet entrance.
We're inside an abandoned hospital. Looks like it is getting stripped, but hopefully some interesting details will be left. And asbestos removal is going on. Just the reception. Nothing in here. I really hope there's still some details we can find. This is interesting. A bit of equipment left. Surprising actually that it's all just stashed into this room. Yeah, look at all that. Microscope there. Good sign. There's a bunch of those Hoovers. I remember seeing them in a Scottish asylum back in the day. I'm starting to find a few more things left. Some medical cabinets and trolleys. This would have been stuff for the canteen, I think. Probably just outdated, so they've not moved it to any of the new buildings. You can see where they've removed the ceiling. Probably wouldn't have dropped down, but would have been nice if it was more intact. Everything feels like it's had work done. Waiting room chairs here running parallel alongside these rooms. The only time I've seen something like this before is when it was operating theatres, but these rooms look a bit too small for that. Please note that following guidance from the Society and College of Radiographers, taking home videos and photographs in the scan room is not allowed. Okay. Well, there we go. That's the little thing I needed to find that will tell me what this building would have been used for. It would have been a maternity hospital. And these rooms would have been where the first scans would have gone on. Ah, this would have been the reception. For this section at least. It's quite cool. You've got a small coffee shop behind me, and then this mural on the ground just confirms again that this would have been a maternity building.
The maternity hospital was constructed in the 1940s, featuring around 80 beds to offer care for women during pregnancy, childbirth, and the period after.
There's a calendar here dating 2014. By the amount of deterioration in here, I'd probably assume that would be right for when it closed.
Once a new facility opened in 2012, this outdated structure ceased clinical use.
Apparently the neonatal unit is up here. I've already seen enough of the ground floor to tell me that it's going to be mostly stripped anyway. And usually in these sorts of buildings, the higher you get, the less they've touched it. Hopefully that's the case. This already looks slightly better, some decay too. The lighting in hospital corridors is always really nice, especially on a sunny day like this. Oh, I can see some beds in here. First ones we've seen so far. Looks like a very small ward that would have been monitored because there's a reception through the glass. It's a huge building. This access corridor would have been shuttered off for a while. It's peeling more than anything else. All the little Winnie the Pooh depictions. Just gonna wrap round into more hospital goodness. So clean here, but stripped totally. It's got that hospital sterile smell. Are these all trays for newborns? That's what they look like for me. Yeah, you can see there's mattresses on some of them too. This is the central staircase of the building. It's quite modern, but I prefer it than that brick extension I used before. I can't decide whether I like this building's architecture or not, as I'm not sure if it's old or new. It's interesting, I've never been inside a building like it. Still got 2 more floors. Surely there's some operating theatres lurking. Even if it's stripped, I want to find the room at least. This looks extremely stripped here. And decaying too. See that the birds have made their way in. Yeah, look at the deterioration. It's lovely minimal decay. You've got 2 drip stands here as well.
This amount of decay matched the length of time the majority of the premises has lain empty. However, it is interesting that other portions had minimal deterioration internally, as if they had been occupied and maintained by staff for some time afterwards.
It's definitely getting more interesting as we get higher. This is just a reception for these, which will probably mean they would be bedrooms. Bedside TV and phone cards, but you'd pay with coins. It's different to how they do it now. It's like a step back in time, although it's only 8, 9, 10 years ago that this place closed. It's crazy how things change over time. Yeah, there's definitely more bits in these rooms too. See, the ward curtain rails are still up in this one. All the bedside lamps show you how many beds would have been in this very room. And we've reached the end of this floor. Time to go up again. Central delivery unit. See a fox eyeing me up. It's nice that in the maternity bit they wanted to make it as friendly as possible. Yeah, these childlike depictions are everywhere. It's actually a bit upsetting. There's another reception. One floor above the other one. Yeah, these big rooms on my right look really interesting. Aha. Here we go. Now we're talking. They saved them all for the top floor, just to make me lose all hope. Very cool though. And that looks Oslo. Looks completely brand new, as if it would switch on with electricity too. This huge set of double doors at the end though, with the in use at the top. I can go through here. Just distracted me a bit. Wow. This one's massive. So strange, it looks like this is the most intact thing in this entire building. And all the lights are like that. You can see on it was last serviced in 2013. But that just shows you no vandals have been in here. Each individual bulb will be smashed. These have just remained in here completely untouched for years.
Finding operating theatres has always been a staple of urban exploration, but coming across a corridor full of old-fashioned equipment that was until this point unseen was even more special. It is likely that these lights were too outdated to be worth transferring to the newer complex.
So many bulbs in this one. I'm always fascinated as to whether certain operations had to be undergone under different lights, because they all seem so different, but then generally have the same purpose. They're immaculate though, which doesn't really make sense when you look at this room and you see papers thrown everywhere and all of the wall insulation coming out. I think that's why it's really cool. They're just like the little gems in somewhere that is really not looking too good for itself. Oh, this one's so cool. Natural light coming in, and then you've got this whole setup with the bed and the baby cot. Don't even think this is set up as well by a photographer. That's what makes it so interesting. We sure of hell haven't done that. Almost finished exploring this hospital. There's only a few more corridor sections left. You can see another light in here. But like a lot of these buildings, they're cool until you see the first one and then they just start to get a bit repetitive. There's even some graffiti in here too, which is surprising. I think I've counted 10 theatres in total. And another one here. That whole wall is coming down. Good grief. Staff only. Imagine there being a bunch of test tubes and files in there. Shame of this, just storage, but obviously had to be secure. It's almost got a laboratory-like desk there. This is the floor above the really decaying one from downstairs. You can see a bed there. More delivery rooms as well, number 10. That's quite cool. This bed with like restraints on. Almost looks like something out of an asylum. Another cool piece of equipment. Just one of those spit trays on it as well. This is why you keep going when you're exploring, because all of this stuff has remained on the top floor when the rest were pretty empty.
According to sources online, demolition took place in early 2025 to free space for new developments on the hospital grounds. Here are some of our photographs captured at the abandoned hospital. If you like the look of them, check out our Instagram page in the description, where we share images from our explores months before they are seen on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed an unseen location that you won't see anywhere else. More of that type of stuff coming in the next few months. See you next time.